Hello, my name is Kiriath, and today I'm going to show you how to achieve this sort of blending effect right here. So, this is one of my Emperor's Children Terminators. Technically, it's Torgaridon, but converted a fair bit. And a lot of you have been asking how I've managed to get from the kind of pink colour to the sort of blue turquoisey colour on this armour, blending between the two. So I thought I would show you. Now, for this, we're going to be using a specific set of colours, although of course when you try this on your own models you can use whatever colours you like. It's the method more than anything else that makes the difference. I'm going to be starting off with a Adeptus Custodes Terminator, because that's what my other Emperor's Children Terminators are made from, and that has been given a nice coat of hexed lichen from Army Painter. Suitable alternative to that, if you are a Citadel paints user, is Xerius Purple. That is pretty much exactly the same hue. And we'll be using 4 colours. So we've got Warlord Purple, we've got Ice Yellow, Huldra Blue, and Adriatic Blue. And we are going to be achieving, hopefully, this. The only other thing that I'll be using for this is a set of Artis Opus Series D brushes and a glass of whiskey. I mean, the glass of whiskey is not compulsory, it's not required, but it is suggested. So let's put a little bit of music on and let's go through how to achieve that effect. Nice and simple, nice and easy. I will see you after this. Okay, so what we are going to do is we are going to take this guy right here and we are going to give him a very similar effect to this guy right here. The colours may not be 100% the same. That is mostly because this requires a fair bit of layering over and over again, and I want to give you the principle, I want to give you the basis of it, but you don't need to see it go all the way up because it's just a repeatable process that you just do until you're happy, essentially. If you want a kind of one-for-one, then this is one of the other Emperor's Children Terminators with not quite as much golden stuff on him, but that will hopefully look something like that. Maybe not exactly the same. I like to do these a little bit different from one model to the other, so you can see that this guy has got, the legs are a different colour at the bottom, but his kind of thigh area and waist have remained pink, whereas that one goes all the way up the side. Really, it just depends on what I feel like for that particular model, but at the end of the day, that should look pretty similar to this. Now, as I said, I'm going to be using the Artis Opus Series D brushes, because that's what I use for this, and we're only going to be using a few colours. So the base of this is the Hex Lichen. Xerius Purple works just as well, and to start with, the coats that we're going to do first are the Huldra Blue from Scale 75 and Adriatic Blue from Scale 75 as well. We're going to start with the Huldra Blue. Now, we're not going to do the pink straight off the bat. That is intentional, don't worry. So we're going to give this a good shake. You'll be able to hear that probably. Got to give it a proper shake. Oh, and as I mentioned, there's the whiskey. Always worth painting with a bit of whiskey, provided you can get away with it. Don't do it if you're doing it on your lunch break at work, obviously. So, just going to get a little streak of the Huldra Blue going there. And to start with, I'm going to be using the medium Series D brush. So, I want to get a bit of moisture on this, which is my dampening pad. So, dip the brush in some water, clean if you can manage it. And then I'm just going to rub that across the pad. Rub it again. You want to make sure that this is just kind of damp to the touch but not soaking wet. There we go, that'll do. So I'm going to take that, I'm just going to pat it in there slightly, like get some paint on the edge of the brush, and then roll it like so. Roll it across the edges and then get a little bit on the head. Now I've got a handy black patch there, so I'm just going to get rid of a bit of the excess, so I know what kind of effect I'm going to get from it. There we go, that'll do. And then we're just going to stipple, just really aggressively stipple it on there. We're not even really dry brushing, we are just stippling it on. So I want to get a decent coat. Do a little bit of a circular motion if you want to get like a really good amount of coverage. I want to get a bit more on the brush, so back to the pad, pick a little bit up from this bit that I got off before, and then really get in there. Yeah, that'll do. Happy with that. So that's just the first coat. So now we need to clean this. Going to get a little bit more water on the pad there, make sure that it's not too damp. Way to do it is to kind of massage it in with the finger and then kind of put it against your skin. If it feels wet, then it's too much. If it just feels like a little bit damp, then you're good. So to clean the brush, I'm literally just going to go for it on the texture palette here. Make sure to get the edges, really get rid of all of the excess paint. Essentially, you're cleaning it as you're using it. You are dry brushing it clean. So we're just going to focus on the front of the model for this particular one. I do the backs as well, but for the sake of time, as you can see, there's some on the back there. For the sake of time, we'll just do the front. So the head of the brush is still a bit dark, but there's nothing really actually on there. So if I do that on my hand, you can see that there's nothing coming through. So next up, we need some of this. So this is the Adriatic blue. Now what I'm doing is I'm laying down the general pattern for where I want the blends to be. So I'm doing the blues and the ice yellow, and then I will take the warlord purple, and I may well go over these bits, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't make any difference because I'm just laying out where I want these to be, the kind of general pattern and shape of them, and then we're going to build up the pink with the warlord purple. And if it goes over the edge, it doesn't matter because we need to build up a couple of layers anyway to get that same kind of nice turquoisey blue effect. So give the Adriatic blue a nice shake. You can tell by the state of this texture palette which colours I use the most, but that's mostly because I'm painting Emperor's Children stuff at the moment, and my Emperor's Children have this scheme. Obviously it's a warband, it's not just like the core Emperor's Children. Brush in the end, roll it into the paint, get it on there, see what it looks like. Yeah, there we go. So now I've got the Adriatic blue on the end of the brush, and I'm going to repeat the same process again. So really go for it. The first layer usually ends up being a little bit dull, but we're going to go over it again anyway and build it up properly. So just get a little bit more there. There we go. So again, I'm going to really poke away like that, and you can already see that there's a bit of the blend going on there on the cloak. Not that I'm going to keep that, unfortunately, but yeah, there you go. And then we repeat that on the body. And don't hesitate to go over a little bit further than you would, because all that does is really kind of add to the effect of the blend. It doesn't matter if you go over. You're not really using very much paint here at all. It's a very forgiving kind of technique. You can already see like the basis of what we're going for here. So you can already see the basis of what we're going for. It's lacking definition at the moment because we don't have the pink and we don't have the ice yellow in there yet. But we'll do some ice yellow and then we'll go back to the pink. I'm just going to dampen the brush a little bit more. And again, really go at this texture palette and kind of get rid of any excess paint that's lying around on the brush. So we're going to move on to the ice yellow. I love this colour, great colour. So this is Vallejo, the ice yellow. It's a weird mix of paints that I'm using. So I'm using Vallejo for the purple and the pink, and the ice yellow, and I'm using scale 75 for the blues, the dark blue and the lighter blue. So get just a little streak there, and we're going to do exactly the same thing again. So again, get a little bit on the edge of the brush, and then find a relatively clear spot, go for it here, and then get a bit on the end. Make sure that it's not overloaded. It's very easy to overload with this one. There we go. And then we're just going to also wipe away if there's too much. It's fine. And then I'm just going to go over the top. It's a little much right now, but it doesn't matter all that much because we need to go over again to get that kind of turquoisey look that we got on the other models. So I'm not too fussed that it's not 100%. Because this is a multi-layer process. It's not like what you go over once and you're done. You have to go over a couple of times to get properly what you're looking for. You probably think to yourself, yeah, but that is not that. You're right, it's not. That's because we have yet to build up that for a second layer yet. So, having done all of that bit, I'm now going to do the pink. We're going to go It feels like back a step, but it's not. This is just the way that I found works best for me doing this. You may find that you can do it in a slightly different order and it works for you. That's fine. You got to do what you enjoy and what you find to be effective. But this is what I've been doing. So got some Warlord purple, Vallejo this time. Now this one is a bit tricky. It's not quite as dense when it comes to the like the pigmentation as the ice yellow or indeed the hex lichen, and scale 75 are super dense, so you don't need much of these. They're really rich colours. The Warlord purple is kind of a rich colour, but you just don't get as much out of what you do with it. So same process again. You can already see that it's not quite, when I put it on, it won't be anywhere near as rich as the others. So just going to go down the side there. You see what I mean? It's not having as much of an impact at all. You've got to kind of really go for it, and you also have to make sure that you have to do multiple layers with this. You can't get away with just one, because you're not going to get like a rich finish out of it. So again, just really going for it. Just poke and stab away. There we go. We're getting there. We're getting there. So the pink is getting there. I think we could do with another layer really. So same deal. Get it in there and then really. There we go. There's some nice. The pink is not too bad now. The pink is pretty much how we want it. We can go back and add a little bit here and there, maybe line it up on the occasional spot, but what we really want is that to be more turquoisey again. So we are going to go back to what we were doing before, basically, repeating the process again, and I'm going to hope that this Huldra is still decent, and it is. Thank you very much. There we go. So get a good amount again. We're going to cover the same area again. But you can see in doing that that is going down lighter than it was before. Quite a bit lighter as well. Because you're not actually putting a huge amount of paint either on the brush or the model with this method. You kind of doing surprisingly not all that much. I'm going to spread it over just a little bit because I want that to blend a bit more. Okay, so now we put that layer down for the second time. Again, clean the brush off. If you're doing multiple models at a time, then you want to clean the brush off on another model, ideally. I'm not actually doing it all that efficient right now because I don't have another model with which to get any Huldra blue on. Like, I don't have another model that needs it, so I'm wasting quite a lot of paint. Because as you can see, as I'm going on the texture palette, you can just keep brushing a different model. The Adriatic blue will not have lasted, I know that already, so I'm not even going to bother trying. So get a bit more of the Adriatic blue, roll the very edge, get the colour on all over the brush. You want it not just on the edges but on the centre as well, and then we go back and do the same thing again. So we're going over the top of it again. I think that could do a bit more, just a bit more on the brush. There we go. That's lovely and bright. Now at this stage it doesn't matter if you're doing less like dry brushing and more kind of wet stippling. It doesn't really matter all that much for this particular technique. There are points where it does start to matter, but this isn't one of them. Right, go back to the ice yellow. Again, that one probably won't have lasted all that well. The Huldra lasts super well. You can leave it out in the open for a bit. Now you can, if you want to, if you have one, you can do wet palette to this. That is an option. It's a little... I have tried it now. It's not my preferred method, but if you're used to working with a wet palette, which admittedly I'm not, you might find it easier. It does make the paint last for longer, that's for sure, but the consistency isn't quite the same. Okay, do a little streak up the top there, and gonna get a bit, get it damp. Roll the very edge again, and I'm just gonna see how this reacts. Okay, go over there like that. Okay, so it's super rough, but that's fine. As you can see, that is already lighter again than it was before. It's not quite to that level, but that's okay, and it won't be, in fairness, because I have that extra bit of blue trapped in the very centre of the brush. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give this another clean. I'm going to give it another coat of Adriatic blue. Oh, I've lost my pad. And then we'll use a different brush to do the icy yellow, which will hopefully fix that issue. Okay, a little bit on the edge of the brush again. And again, I'm just going to poke away, get that nice rich blue down, which again, as you can see, it's gone on a little bit lighter and a bit more turquoisey again, which I believe puts us in just the right position for the next coat of icy yellow. Excellent. Give that a good scrub, give it a good clean. Now we are onto a smaller brush. We're onto the small, not the very small, the extra small even. The extra small is teeny tiny. No, we are onto just the small. Get a bit of moisture on the edge there. I'm just gonna. There we go. And as you can see, that's a lot more of a kind of pure ice yellow. And then over the top of that, I'm gonna just. If there's a bit too much, then just wipe it off with your finger. It's fine. I think need some fresh ice yellow actually, looking at it. Get a fresh lot, so to speak. There we go, that's looking way better. That's picked it up a lot more. And there we go, we've got that nice effect there. So, and then we just actually dry brush this time. I'm going up and down. I want to catch all of the different angles, all of the different sections. And for the most part, there we go. I'm just going to get a bit more warlord purple in there, just so you can get that extra nice bit of contrast. But we're pretty much done. Now it doesn't seem fast. I realise. I mean, that's like what, nearly half an hour. It's far more efficient if you're doing multiple models. Doing one at a time is actually not a great idea. Well, I say it's not a great idea. You can do what you like, but you will find it to be a far quicker method if you do it across multiple models. That's what I did with my Emperor's Children, and it speeds it up a lot. Okay, there we go. And then I'm just going to get in there just a little bit across there. And then I want to get the corner there. Now if I can just get the side of that head, that would be perfect. There we go. I'm going to spread just a little further over to the side. Just a little further over that way. Just to really bring the blend in a bit. And I think I want to just get the very edge of this. Again, just to bring it out that little bit more. Get the arms too, because we need to do the arms regardless. Just going to get a little bit more in there, and there you go. That is how I did this. I think probably another coat. Yeah, maybe could get away with another coat. It matches pretty well right now, but another coat wouldn't go amiss. You can see. Yeah, that's pretty close. Actually, probably just another coat of ice yellow, just a really crisp coat of ice yellow, and that would be identical. So, there you go. That is how I paint my Emperor's Children. That is the method I use and the colours I use. Yeah, it's not too difficult. It's pretty easy to replicate. It'll work with multiple colours. You can do pretty much anything you like with it, and that is the effect that it gives. A nice kind of fun blend between contrasting colours. Okay, well, I hope that was helpful. Of course, the colours are only part of it. The actual technique itself, really simple, really easy to do, and no matter what model you're painting, you'll probably find a way to implement this stuff. You can do it with pretty much any colour combination that you want to. Even like massively clashing colours, you can still achieve the same effect. Really, it just comes down to what you want on your palette and what you want on your models. So I hope you found that interesting, I hope you found that informative and helpful, and we will do a little bit more of this. We will do some more videos like this, just going through a few things that I do on my models that you guys have asked about, including, I should add, the green effect, which is super easy, and that's probably going to be like a 10-minute video, if that. But it's really vibrant, it's really bright, and it works really well. So we'll cover that in a future video. In the meantime, I hope that was of some use to you. Thank you very much for watching. Feel free to click all the things, Patreon, video subscribe, all that stuff. You know the drill. There's an affiliate link, you can use that too. We'll also put a link to the Series D brushes so that you can grab those if you would like. I'll see you for the next one.